Hello everyone, so Miss Soma here. I'm gonna do another functions video. However, I'm just gonna focus on finding the slope and y-intercept because there seems to be some confusion on this topic. Okay, so let's start with just table of values. Okay, let's say for example, if I have 0, I get a 3. 1, I get a 5. 2, I get a 7. 3, I get a 9. All right, so there are many ways you can find the equation of this function. So let's start with just plotting the points. Okay, let's plot the points. So 0, 3, 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, 9. All right, so there's your line right here. So now, based on my functions lesson, we defined that slope is the steepness of your line. So we're looking at how many steps did this go up. Let's just focus on 2 points. So let's say this one. So how many steps did this point have to go to reach the next point? So it has to go 1, 2. So the change in y is 2 steps. 2 steps over, how many steps did it go across? Over 1. So the slope here is equal to 2. So the slope is 2x plus whatever is your y-intercept. Now your y-intercept is where did this line hit the y-axis? So it hit at point 3. So then your y-intercept is 3. All right. So now, as you notice here, I'm looking at what is the change of my point from this to the next. So now you can also do it here without graphing. What is the change from 3 to 5? First, let's look at the pattern here. It's going up, so therefore your slope is positive. So from 3 to 5, there is an increase of 2. But don't forget that you also have to look at the change in your x value. So from 0 to 1, so there is a change of 1. Which means for every 2 steps up, you go across ones. So your slope is determined by how many steps did we go up divided by how many steps did we go across. So your slope is 2. Okay, so now sometimes in a table of values, you will see a 0 on your x, and that is a given already of your y-intercept because the y-intercept happens when x is 0. All right, so now in this case, your slope is 2, and then your y-intercept is 3, so the equation is 2x plus 3. All right, so now what happens if I will have a table of values without a 0 in it? All right, so let's do, let's see. All right, so let's see. If I'm going to give you -2, you will have -7. If I have 1, so I'm not going to give you a 0, you will have -1. And then if I will have 3, you'll get a 3. Let's do one more. If I'm going to have a 5, you will get a 7. Okay? So then again, we can always plot the points, and you actually need just 2 points. And I like doing my positive points because it's easier to me. And if you like to do the negatives, go for it as well. All right, so I'm just going to do 3 and 3. So 1, 2, 3. But first, we assume that this is a function. This is a linear function. Okay, so now let's do 3, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 7. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so now we are looking between these 2 points here. So now how many steps did it go up? It goes up by 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going up by 4 divided by how many steps did it go down? Go across? 1, 2. So that means your slope is 2. All right? So which means that for every 4 steps you go up, you go 2 steps across, which can be simplified as for every 2 steps you go up, then you go 1 step across, which is 2 divided by 1, and your slope is 2. So now let's continue the pattern that for every 2 steps, because we want to find the y-intercept because it's not given in our table. So I'd like you to always simplify your slope because that will help you find your y-intercept. So now for every 2 step down, I go to the left once. I'm going to continue the pattern. For every 2 steps down, I'm going to go 1 step to the left. For every, I'm not hitting the y-axis yet. So for every 2 step down, I go 1 step to the left. And now you see that your y-intercept is at -3. So your equation here is y equals 2x plus -3. Or you can write it as 2x minus 3. Or you can even write it as -3 plus 2x. These are all equal equations. Okay, so what else? Let's try solving a math equation. Let's try solving a math problem. But I am changing this one because I think it's too basic for you. So I'm changing this into 4 hours. And then I'm changing this to 35. Changing this to 27. And I'm changing this to 99. All right, so let's look at our problem. On Monday, you made $35 shoveling 4 hours. So let's make a table. Now, another confusion that you might possibly come across with is, how do I determine which one is my x and which one is my y? Y is your dependent variable, which is actually the result. And then x is your independent, and it is your controlled variable. All right, so let's take a look. So which one is the result here, the hours or the money? So we get the money from working several hours. So our result here is the money. So now at 4 hours, I get $35. At 3 hours, all right, so I do like to arrange them in numerical order. So at 3 hours, you get $27. And at 12 hours, you get $99. Now, in this case, that would be too much if we would have to put this on a grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick to the strategy that we developed if we're not doing it on the grid. All right, so let's look at the change. So just choose 2 points. I'm going to choose, let's say, these 2 points here. All right, so what is the increase from 35 to 99? Or what is the change in y? So from 35 to 99, all right, so let's subtract 99 minus 35. I'm doing it on a separate sheet of paper. So 464. So the change is 64. So I just did 99 minus 35. And then what is the change from 4 to 12? So you can do 12 minus 4. The change is 8. So meaning for every 64 steps going up, I go across 8 steps. I go 8 steps across. So now your slope is, how many steps did I climb up? 64. And for every 8 steps across. Now we can simplify this. So now it becomes 8 over 1. So meaning, for every 8 steps up, I go 1 step across. All right, and by the way, we call this unit rate as well. Slope is also considered as unit rate because we're looking at a change in one variable divided by the change in another variable. Okay, so now I know that my slope is 8. So put it into the equation. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals the slope is 8x plus we don't know b. All right, so how do we do that? So in our grid, we would have to continue, go down 8 steps, go left 1. Keep going down until you reach the y-intercept, the y-axis. So in this case, what we can do is pick a point, because this equation would have to be true for all points. So now I'm just gonna pick something small and easy to manage. All right, so you can pick any of them. You can pick 12 and 99, 3 and 27, but today I'm gonna pick 4 and 35. So what is my y value here? My y value there is 35 equals, what is my, 8. What is my x value? My x value here is 4 plus my y-intercept. All right, so now I have 35 is equal to, this is 32 plus something. Now what should I add to 32 so that this equation will be true? So 35 is equal to, what should I add to 32? I have to add 3. So that means it is true now. So that means my y-intercept has to be 3. So now the equation of the line is 8x plus 3. And then don't forget to verify it if it's true. Test it with your 12. So 8 times 12 plus 3 and see if we get 99. So 8 times 12 will give you 96 plus 3, that gives you 99. So your equation is true. Let's try with the 3 and 27. So now 8 times 3 plus 3. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 3. We got 27. So our equation is right. Okay? And I'm gonna be doing more videos on this if we need to, but for now I think this should help you on finding slope and y-intercept of either a graph, table of values, or in a word problem. Bye-bye.